Do you think sometimes then birthing parents and non-birthing parents, do you think that maybe they underestimate the impact that this can have on their life and maybe their relationships?
Absolutely. That is the number one feedback I get from my clients. Even when I try to prepare them as much as I can. Oh, I'll be fine. I'm like, no, you won't. No, you won't. I'm telling you, you won't. And it's like, Tamara, you were right. Oh my gosh, I didn't have enough support. And that's the thing. We kind of, not kind of, we live in a society that is very me, right? And I don't think I believe and I know that culturally, as indigenous people, whether your people are from South Carolina, the Caribbean, Africa, as Black people, we did it with our community. And we are displaced and in America and adopting these ways of, thinking. I have clients, well, I had this baby, she's my responsibility, or he's my responsibility. And I tell them, no, they're not. They're the community's responsibility because this baby is coming to bless all of us. Everyone in this family, everyone in your community is going to benefit by this soul being here in some way, right? So it's also our responsibility to take care of the mom, dad, birthing parent, non-birthing parent. It is our responsibility. And I really try and encourage my clients and their family members to participate. It's not enough to come to the baby shower and, buy, yes, all of those things are cute, but honestly, you just need some onesies and some Pampers and some wipes. You really don't need all of that stuff in the beginning. You don't. You need food. You need who wants to think about cooking when you've had a medical procedure, right? When you've had what we call a C-section, it's a medical birth. That takes 6 weeks to heal. Who has time to, you're not supposed to be standing up and going upstairs, even if you have a vaginal birth. It still is a healing process, right? Culturally, women, birthing people stayed in the house for 3 months. In every other culture other than America, whether it's Black or brown, moms, grandmom, community aunties, they come, they cook, they clean, they take care, they bathe mom, they bathe the babies. I'm also a postpartum doula, so this is this is my jam, okay? Um, make soup, they make all the foods that's going to fortify. When we have postpartum depletion, and people say, oh, my hair fell out as part of, it's not supposed to fall out. It's not like, no. We say, oh, that's normal when you go through postpartum. No, it's not. It means you're depleted. It means you're not getting the nutrients and the vitamins you should have. It's not a thing that is supposed to happen. Right. And mine's did. It came out in clumps, but I wasn't eating properly. I was drinking coffee and trying to stay awake to take care of this baby. It's not supposed to be like that. So yes, I think the number one underestimated aspect of parenting is the postpartum journey and how difficult it can be if we don't have supports.
I remember watching, to highlight that point, I remember watching an interview where the person had children and all she could think about after the birth was, I need to get back to work.
Yes.
Right. And this is something that was on her mind. And then eventually she was telling the story that she had her child, she was itching to get back to work. She had a child, she had another one, she was itching to get back to work. And then fast forward like 6, 7, 8 years where the children are nearing their teenage years, she turned around and she was like, I felt I don't like my children.
Hmm.
And I sat back and I was watching this and I was like, wow, imagine not liking something that you created or not liking someone for all those years, not because necessarily they did something to you, just their existence. Right. And then I began to wonder, how many different emotions do the birthing and non-birthing parents go through? But from the mother's perspective, and I ask you, Tamara, what type of different emotions are they experiencing, and are some constructive and are some maybe not as constructive?
Well, you factor in, you have the hormonal crash, right? You have the baby blues. And so that's like a ride. Like you're up and down, you're happy, you're sad, you don't know what's going on, right? And that, is about 5, 7. 2 weeks maybe. I feel like it's different for everyone. But past third, fourth week, you want to be mindful of if it's leveling out, right? And then if you are having difficulty with daily activities, just basic things. Now it's difficult to wash when you're a new parent, right? But that not even wanting to, that depression, right? You just feel like you're so heavy. You can't brush your teeth. You can't do basic things. You can maybe care for your baby, but you can't care for yourself, right? Either hyper or hypo, right? Either sleeping too much or you can't sleep at all. Um, Paying attention to fluctuations in appetite, right? Anger is something we don't talk about a lot. Rage, because a lot of people feel guilty and they don't share it, right? So that anger lashing out maybe at a partner or even the child crying, baby crying just really like sends like a chill up your spine, right? Those are some of the emotions that parents experience and feel silenced because they're scared to share that because I'm supposed to just automatically connect with this baby I've never ever met before in my life that you just plopped on my chest and it's like breastfeed. It doesn't happen like that. Yes, connection and attachment starts in preconception, right? When you're willing this child to you, however you are going about your growing your family, that process, connection happens then. But then also you have an idea of what that looks like, and then you actually have this baby, and it's not that idea, right? That's what it was for me. It's like she didn't look like what I thought she was going to look like. It just wasn't love at first sight, like people tell you, and then you question yourself and you have all these doubts, and it wasn't. I was just relieved she was there, but after that, I just wanted to check out, and I was like, I just want to go to sleep. Like now, y'all like making me nerves. It was just too much. It was overload. I was just so overly stimulated, right? And so it takes a while to bond. So I don't, and when I say bond, when I bond in that way that we think bonding happens, like all that, oh, I'm so in love with the baby. Bonding happens, you're feeding your baby. If you're giving your baby a bottle, you're bonding with your baby. If you're changing your baby, you're bonding with your baby. If you're sleeping with your co-sleeping, or if you're rubbing your baby's back, I really want to normalize and show the practical ways we bond with our children. And it's not a fairy tale. It's not what we see on TV. It's not what we see in the movies. Babies cry and they get on our nerves, and that's okay too.